Basic components of system protection. Basic components of system protection. So what are the basic components existing in the system protection? So we'll see here. As we know that system protection is nothing but combination of relay plus circuit breaker is nothing but the system protection. So for this I am considering one transmission line. Okay, so this transmission line, for this transmission line I am using a CT. I will explain what is this CT. This is called relay operating coil, and this CT is let us take 1000 by 5 amperes CT. This is the CT. This one is a CT, and after this relay operating coil will be giving to the relay contacts. These are the relay contacts. This is operated by using a battery, DC batteries, battery in the sense DC. This is called a trip coil. Okay, and there may be a backstop. So here there will be a backstop to protect the plunger, to stop the plunger up to a certain value. So this backstop can be adjustable for based on the timing of the relay. So this is called the backstop. The backstop means which can stop the plunger to move further, Okay, so sometimes there may be a rotational plungers, sometimes there may be a horizontal or vertical movement of a plunger. So for example, there is a rotation of the plunger, then this will be stopped by using the backstop. Okay, so whenever it is magnetized, then the plunger will move to these contacts and this circuit will be closed, and because of the DC batteries, when the circuit is closed, this trip coil will be energized and given signal to the circuit breaker contacts. So let us take this is a circuit breaker contact initially closed, and this is the movement, the plunger of a circuit breaker contact. Now I can say this as a circuit breaker, and these are the circuit breaker contacts. Okay, so normally closed, the circuit breaker is normally closed, and this is the line current I, right? Here, why this CT is placed? CT means what? It is a current transformer. Why the CT is placed means CT is for measuring purpose, measuring of the current, or metering of the, for metering purpose and as well as for measuring the current. For both cases CT is used. Okay, measuring or metering both are same only, and also for protection or relaying purpose. Both are same. Actually this current will be around 1000 amperes. Let me say this is a 1000 ampere line flowing from the supply side to generator side. So we cannot manufacture 1000 ampere ammeter to measure the current, because if you want to manufacture a ammeter which can capable of measuring 1000 amperes, so that includes lot of problems. So electromagnetic interface will be there, and there may be existing certain magnetic field because of the current flowing through the meters, and the costly, and operating is also dangerous to operate, because handling of 1000 ampere is very much danger to the person who is operating or who is measuring the current. So for that, what we are doing means, simple concept we are applying here. We are stepping down the current. We are stepping down the current from 1000 amperes to our metering level. So generally the meters will be operated for 1 meter or 2 meter or 3 meter, 5 meters like that. So here generally used CT is 1000 by 5 amperes. That means you are stepping down the current value from 1000 amperes to 5 amperes, so that you can able to measure the current, right? So for that, the secondary side terminals, or secondary side winding is more here. Secondary side winding is more. Okay, that means, so I'll explain here. For example, a CT, if I am taking 1000 by 5 amperes, 1000 by 5 amperes CT I have taken. So therefore the I1 by I2 is equal to what? That what we know, N2 by N1. So I1 will be 5 amperes. Okay, I1 by I2, that means current 1000 ampere is an I1, 5 ampere is a I2, and the N1 by N2 is equal to 200 by 1. That means N1 means turns of a primary is 1 turn or a bar, and N2 will be 200 turns. 200 turns will be there as a N2. N1 is single turn coil or a bar or a straight rod. Therefore this transformation can be achieved. So to get the 1000 by 5 amperes, your secondary side should be having more turns compared to primary. Generally the primary will be a single conductor or a bar primary will be there, right? So if you want to measure, or for example, if you are taking 2 turns on the primary, then you have to want 400 turns on the secondary side, 400 watts on the secondary side, if you want to go for 2 turns in the primary. So therefore this ratio will be satisfied. Like that you have to design your CT, but generally we will be using single turn or a bar primary only. Bar primary in the sense what? Transmission line or a conductor. So the applications of the CT is to measure the current value, okay, and also for the protection purpose we are using the CTs here. Protection purpose here we have taken as a relay operating coil. Why? Because as I said, the CT is used for measuring the value of current which is flowing through the line, and another purpose is to protection purpose. So here, as by using the CT, we are getting 5 ampere current in the secondary side, and because of this 5 ampere current, the relay operating coil will be energized here. Okay, if any fault current, for your clear understanding, I am taking 6 ampere is the fault current. I am setting my relay operating coil such that if the current flowing through this relay operating coil is more than 5 amperes, it has to be magnetized and it has to attract the plunger, so that the plunger has to move in this direction. So therefore, for example, if 6 ampere or 10 ampere, let me say 10 ampere, 10 ampere is a fault current which is flowing through this secondary side of the CT. Therefore this relay operating coil will be energized and it will be attracted this plunger, and this plunger will be moving in this direction because of the magnetic effect. By moving like this, this plunger will be closing these two contacts whenever it is moving to the left hand side. As long as it is closing these two contacts, circuit is closed like this, and these batteries are connected to this relay operating or trip coil, and similarly as ROC is energized, this trip coil will also be magnetized, and which will be attracting this plunger to the downward direction. So earlier, because of this plunger only, these two contacts have been closed. As long as this trip coil is attracting this plunger will be moving downward direction by opening these two contacts. That means you can call circuit breaker is opened. Circuit breaker is opened. So that's how the protection system will be working. Very, very simple. As long as 5 ampere current is flowing, this is under normal condition, relay will not be energized, and the plunger will be in its original position, and the trip coil is not energized, and the circuit breaker contacts are closed. Whenever there is a fault current flowing through the transmission line, and the relay operating coil will be magnetized, which will be attracting this plunger to the horizontal left hand side, which will be closing this circuit, trip circuit, and because of this DC batteries, this relay, this trip coil will be magnetized, which will be attracting this plunger by opening the circuit breaker, so that the equipment which are connected to the transmission line will be protected. Okay, so this is the way to these are the basic components of the system protection which are existing in the power system network. Okay, so there are certain values are there related to the fault current, full load current, minimum current. Actually you know this one, but anyway I would like to express once again. For example, if the full load current flowing through the transmission line is 1000 amperes, because I have been used this one as a 1000 by 5 amperes, this is called the full load current. Okay, 1000 amperes. Then what will be your overload current? Overload current will be 20% of full load current. So what will be your overload current? Around 1200 ampere is the overload current which can be sustained. Then minimum fault current you have to calculate. Minimum fault current, that means which is set up for the operation of the relay. Let me say this is for 1400 ampere is the minimum fault current, and the maximum fault current that a circuit breaker can withstand is 10,000 amperes. 10,000 amperes. Like this the parameters will be exist. Okay, I'll explain here once again. For example, 1000 amperes is a normal full load current. Full load current, right? Overload current, that means more than the full load current. Sometimes it may be happen because of certain surges in the power system, that has to be withstand by the equipment. Therefore, let me take 1200 ampere is the overload current. Other than this overload current, then relay must operate whenever there is a current flowing through the equipment which is more than the overload. That means a minimum fault current is, let me say, 1400 amperes. Then maximum fault current that can be withstand by the circuit breaker contacts is a 10,000 amperes. That means from 1400 to 10,000 amperes the circuit breaker contacts has to withstand, otherwise it cannot operate that much voltage. So even there is a large short circuit fault is taken place, then the circuit breaker itself it is blasting, means there is no meaning of that. So that means if the circuit breaker contacts has to withstand maximum fault current, this can be decided at the time of the designing of circuit breaker, and this can be designed at the designing of the relay. Relay has to operate for the minimum fault current, circuit breaker has to withstand for maximum fault current. So this is the main difference between relay and circuit breaker, because relay is a sensing device which has to sense, it has to have some sensitivity, it has to have some selectivity, like that. So sensitivity should be more, that means a minimum fault current should be identified by the relay, and whereas the circuit breaker it has to withstand the maximum fault current. So here, based on the combination of relay and circuit breaker, there is a primary relaying equipment, another one is a secondary relaying equipment. There are two types of relaying equipments: primary relaying equipment and secondary relaying equipment. So primary relaying equipment means the relay operating coil is directly connected in the circuit. The relay operating coil ROC is there. Just now we have discussed in the diagram that relay operating coil is directly connected in the circuit which is to be protected. That is called primary relaying equipment. Secondary relaying equipment means whatever we have discussed just now. The relay operating coil is connected to the circuit to be protected through CT or sometimes PT or sometimes both CT and PT. So that can be called as a secondary equipment relaying. Okay. If you are using a CT or PT means potential transformer, current transformer, or CT-PT, both if you are using to protect the equipment, that can be called as a secondary relaying equipment. Or the primary relaying equipment means sometimes there is no need of using CT or PT and directly the relay operating coil is connected in the circuit which is to be protected. So that can be called as a primary relaying equipment. So the diagram which we have shown just now is secondary relaying equipment because we are using CT here for the protection system. That is called a secondary relaying equipment. Okay. And coming to the CTs, current transformers, we are having two types of CTs as we discussed just now, metering CT and protection CT. So there are some small concept related to this one. First of all, I would like to metering CT. Metering CT is for used for measuring. That's what the meaning, no? So metering means what we use it in meters. So this current transformers used for measuring the value, measuring the current value. That means it has to measure, that's it. It should not detect the fault current. So therefore, whatever the current which is flowing through the conductors or a transmission line, it has to be measured. So here that CT, the measuring CT should accurate or should measure till the full load current. It has to measure up to the full load current. Okay, for example, for an abnormal condition, that means what I have taken the full load current 10,000 amperes is a full load current in the previous example, right? So for example, for an abnormal condition, that means a fault current, what we have taken 10,000 amperes. So what is the ratio of the CT? 1000 by 5 amperes. So the CT current will be here 5 ampere. For an abnormal condition, if 10,000 amperes is flowing, then the secondary current will be 50 ampere. Correct. So metering CT should measure the current, that means up to the full load current only, that means up to 5 ampere only it has to measure. For example, if there is an abnormal current, then the secondary current should not be 50 ampere, because after reaching the 5 ampere the core of the transformer should reach saturation. Therefore the metering, because what is the need to measure this fault current in the metering CT? It is not required. For example, the metering CT is designed like this to measure up to 5 amperes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The intention of the metering equipment is to measure the meter value, the current value which is flowing through the transmission line. That means the full load current only, up to full load current only we will be measuring that value. Beyond that we cannot measure the value, because we are not required to measure the fault current here, because we are not operating the equipment in the fault condition. So that's what the meaning.